One of the things that people ask us a lot is how we are getting through this process, which, to be honest, sometimes Dylan and I don't exactly know how we're doing it. We just kind of are. Hi there, friends. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are not working on the house because we are waiting for the drywallers to come. So it has been about a year since we initiated the plan, selling our previous house, trying to find something that fit within a budget so that we could live as debt-free as possible and give ourselves a lot more financial freedom to do the things we want. If you want to know more about that, click the link in the corner, maybe here, and you can watch the full story of how we ended up in the position that we are in. One of the things that a lot of people will say to us as we're talking about going through the building process and trying to manage work and everything else that we have going on is we have a lot of people who don't really know exactly how we have dealt with this. I think one of the biggest things with this process is definitely managing your expectations. We developed a plan and had a general idea of what it is we were trying to accomplish. However, we've had to know how to duck and weave and adjust and be flexible because things really haven't worked out exactly as we initially thought in the last year.
Along the lines of managing expectations, I think you have to learn to not get your hopes up because you really have no control over it, especially if you're trying to do it on the cheap. We're not calling in trades. We don't have crews of guys at our house building it for us. It's whenever we have time and whenever your dad has time.
Being in upheaval, we've been living out of laundry baskets, which, word to the wise, if you are moving place to place, it's a lot easier to store your clothes in laundry baskets than it is in suitcases. You can access it a little bit better. But we've been doing that for the last year. We've been bouncing around between camping at the actual house. We've been staying with my family, and it's tough. It's tough having all your things in different places. But I think the one thing that really motivates us is we know that there is a very big achievement at the end, and that is knowing that we are going to have a house that is below our financial means, which is huge.
We won't have bills.
Which was the huge reason why we did this, was to keep everything super financially affordable so that we can do the things that we actually want to do, which is travel and take on random projects or buy 1973 campers.
Pop up a picture.
That's fun. Keeping all of that in check for Dylan and I, what really motivates us is just knowing that that is going to be a huge accomplishment at the end of this. And you just have to keep the goal in mind at all times. Really, nothing good comes without having to make sacrifices. That's just the way that life is. And so for Dylan and I, in the grand scheme of things, we really try to remember that this is a pretty minimal sacrifice that we're making over the course of this year to have something that is going to be a great big benefit when all is said and done. It's a mindset game. It's always a mindset game with everything. Having lived the laptop lifestyle, as they call it, it's really set us up to handle kind of not knowing what's ahead of you.
Point is, we're accustomed to living out of laundry baskets, suitcases. We've done it. We've moved. How many times have we moved now?
Since we've been together, we have moved a lot.
Like 7 times.
Yes.
Once every year and a half on average.
Yeah.
But this is the highest payoff as well.
Absolutely. That's where I think the living the laptop lifestyle, as they call it, has really set us up to be able to handle the challenges that we've had to face in this situation. We've lived in a world where a lot of people are trying to sell you this lifestyle, and if you Google the term laptop lifestyle, you will see tons of people who are posing in front of the fanciest cars and they've got their laptop perched on a beach, which, full disclosure, we have done that.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fun as it looks.
Honestly, you get to a point where you realize, why the hell?
You can't even see your screen.
No, if your life is that great, why are you working on a beach? If you're on a beach, you shouldn't be working. We've worked in this world that has definitely been caught up in this glamour that isn't really kind of what it is behind the scenes. Because at the end of the day, Dylan and I have both had to work pretty hard to get to where we are, and we've had to make sacrifices, and we are surrounded by a lot of people in our digital marketing industry. The people that we know that are the most successful are some of the hardest working people. They have no problem working 40 plus hours a week. They work at 1 in the morning if that's what it means. But the difference between those people and a lot of others is that you'll find it's not really work because they actually enjoy what they're doing, and I think that's pretty key. But again, a lot of that doesn't translate on social media. People get this glorious idea that it's all working with your laptop on the beach, and that's not really accurate. It's just not the case. Having worked in this world that has a very glamorous online presence, and knowing that things aren't always kind of how they seem, have really set us up for this, because when we initially made this plan, it sounded wonderful.
It sounded very out of reach.
But it did sound out of reach. And I think that, again, having worked where we have, it's forced us to keep things in check all the time. And again, we've always had to kind of duck and move. We've had to change with our industry because we do work in digital marketing. Things change very, very quickly. This has just been our life for the last 7 years. So we've very much equipped ourselves to be able to handle a situation like this. It's not exactly what you would think. You definitely have to sacrifice a lot in order to get ahead. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
I think that's a great thing. So I guess one of the big questions a year into this is, do we regret having made the decision that we did? I would say absolutely not. I am very happy that we made the decision we did.
Which is saying a lot, because you were the one that was against it at the beginning.
Let's
get that on record. I had to convince you that the plan would work.
We had gotten in a situation with where we were living where for the first time in a long time I felt really comfortable. We've worked online, and so we've created a really awesome circle of people around us in our industry, but they live on the other side of Canada. They live across the States. They live in Europe. They live in Australia. So on a day-to-day basis, Dylan and I have each other, which is amazing.
You're welcome.
We don't really have, other people. So we got set up in a co-working space where we were living, and I had really kind of established a community there, and I really enjoyed that for the first time in a long time. So that was hard to leave. Dylan had to really give me a push to want to take this next step.
Once I laid out the numbers for you, because you're not good with numbers.
I'm terrible at math. That's why I'm a writer.
Yeah, once I laid all of that out for you and showed you what was possible if we pulled off our lofty plan, it was pretty easy after that. Well, no, it was not easy convincing you. That was a long walk.
Convincing me to do anything is not always easy, admittedly.
It's worth it, though.
As much as it has been really difficult being in a state of upheaval and trucking our stuff around and the dogs around, I would say we are able to pull this off because, number one, we're very lucky to have the family around us that we do, who has generously given us a place to stay. But again, it's just keeping that end goal in mind and knowing that as much as people are posting all these wonderful things on social media all the time, most people didn't get those things by not working or sacrificing something. For Dylan and I to be able to live a lifestyle where we are pretty much debt-free at the age that we are, we have to make a sacrifice. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't think the things that we have had to go through are really that big of a sacrifice when all is said and done. There are way worse situations that we could be in, and so I'm actually very grateful for all the things that we have. Keeping all of that in mind really makes the inconveniences of our current lifestyle a lot easier to manage.
Yeah, I think it's just knowing how good it's going to be when it's done. Like knowing how worth it everything is going to be when it's eventually finished. Well, to be like 90% debt free, you're in your 30s and own your house and it's your land and have land. There's tons of channels that do homesteading and off-gridding and things like that. And you can't look at one of them that owns their house outright and owns all of their property that didn't go through a year of heartache and a year of upheaval to get that. It's a matter of preference as well.
And I think
not everybody wants to just be out in the country and have gardens and have deer walking across their lawn. Some people want to be in the city. Some people, want to drive their Lamborghinis and whatever it happens to be, whatever their vice is, whatever they want to spend their money on. that's what they like. This is what we've decided works for us. So
Right.
it's not for everybody.
That's something to keep in mind too. If you are looking to change your lifestyle and you see these people online, including Dylan and I doing this channel, or whoever it is you might be following, everybody's lifestyle and what they're going to be willing to sacrifice or what they can do is going to differ drastically based on what your situation is and also what you're willing to give up. That's what Dylan and I did, is we sat down and said, what are we willing to sacrifice? What are we actually wanting to get out of life? What's important to us? Keeping all those things in mind have really helped us mentally stay on track with this process. That was a little ranty. We got a little ranty there.
Well, I got
passionate.
a little ranty. You were completely normal. You're always ranty.
I feel like that's not a nice thing to say.
It's out in the ether now.
I think that about sums up our rant. All I have to say is keep an open mind when you're looking at stuff on social media, whether it be us doing this or whoever it is you're following. And also, too, there's a million ways to go about trying to achieve what your perfect freedom is. Just do you, you know? Do whatever it is you want to do. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was insightful into what our situation is. If you guys have questions or you're wondering anything, just put it down in the comments below, and we're happy to be as open and authentic as we can be throughout this experience. What do you have to say for yourself?
I concur. Like and subscribe.
And if you do, you'll be blessed with Dylan's enthusiasm on a weekly basis. Thanks for watching. Bye.